Hello, everybody. Great to see you guys again. Long time no see.
Yeah. I miss everybody. I'm lonely up here.
Yeah, great seeing y'all.
Miss you all too.
I miss you guys. And it's been such a whirlwind coming back and everything. I'm just now it's a great time to talk about what actually happened, what we expected, what actually happened, and how we might use it going forward in our life, because we are talking about, of course, our trip to Mount Shasta. So it just so happened for me. Well, I'll just tell you a little bit first, and then I want to open it up. I wasn't really planning on going. So, I mean, I knew about it. It was kind of in the back of my mind. And then when Gail said, well, you can come stay with me. I've got plenty of room in my place. And then all of a sudden that clicked in my mind. Okay, I knew I needed to go, but I didn't really know why. I knew it would be big for me. So that's all for me. So anyway, it was so wonderful to have time with you guys.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, besides a lot of amazing experiences. So Dr. Gail, would you mind telling us what you expected, like even going to Shasta in general, and then what you expected to have us come visit?
Well, I don't know that I had that much of an expectation of y'all visiting, except I knew that would be powerful with the four of us together. I knew that. I knew there'd be different experiences, but I did just move here. So I was going through a lot of things. Well, first off was, where was I going to live? And then I had a new car after hitting the deer. So I was going through a whole lot of those things while y'all were visiting. So I was having to go handle those and send y'all off and do another thing. In fact, I've got more people coming. Let's see, the 11th, I got somebody coming. And then also in the middle of the month, somebody else is coming. So I'm anxious to see if I don't think I'm going to have the experience like I have with y'all. I'm not quite as connected with them as I am with the three of y'all. So, but it'll be interesting to see.
Wow, how easily I thought we were going to be replaced. So thank you for saying that the connection. No, I'm kidding.
Well, it's not. I don't have as strong a connection with them as I do with y'all. I mean, I have a really strong connection with the three of y'all. So, yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you. And Danny, what about you? What did you expect?
Well,
how did you get there? Why did you go?
Yeah, Billy and I, we've done this trip twice, and I think because it's our birthday trip. His birthday follows mine, and by a couple of days. So when Gail said she was moving out there, I go, oh, well, I'm going to be out there at this time. And it was the same time as the Lee Carroll event in McLeod. So I thought, well, this is going to be great. I'm going to go do a little woo-woo classy, big conference type thing. And I'm going to see, and it was going to be, a blast to see Gail and see how Bill interacts with Gail and what she's going through and manifesting in her life and what I'm going through. And I knew that he would like fit right in a way, but he's more of the root, the grounding. So for me, I'm going back to what Gail said. I'm not quite sure what I expected, but I knew it was going to be powerful, whatever it was. And then when you said you were going to come, I was like, okay, this is going to be pretty powerful.
I agree. Yes. Hey, Bill. Hi, Bill. I want to introduce Bill. For those of you guys who don't know Bill, Bill is Danny's younger brother. Is that okay to say younger?
Yes.
Maybe
younger and wiser.
Yes, that's very true.
Too late now, right? But and you live in San Francisco, and you also are a chaplain, and you are a Buddhist. So not that that matters that you're a Buddhist, because we don't all advertise what our religion is, but I'm just letting you know because because I think it's interesting, our combination here. So Bill, what did you expect when you went?
You know, this is our turning into our annual event where we do something together as celebrating our birthdays, and birthdays are always transitions. And Shasta's a place that I've really been drawn to. And when Danny started talking about, we've tried to go there, I think a couple times, but we were able to get there last year and went to Panther Meadows, which I just loved that. So coming up this year was my expectation of going into that area and doing some reflections just because of the birthdays and the transitions. And originally when Danny said that Gail and Kim were coming, it was sort of like, or going to be up there, it's like, well, this will be interesting. So I didn't have a whole lot of judgments, but it was like, not quite sure about this. And then I got to meet you all and just had my heart opened by you. But I definitely came with some doubts and reservations going, definitely different traditions merging together or bouncing together, and whether they merge or not, we'll see. So.
Beautiful, Bill. Well, thank you for being courageous. We know you're already a courageous human, but it shows up again by willing to jump into a new adventure, really for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, so then I guess Danny, I'm gonna ask you.
No, what about you?
What about you?
Oh, what did I expect? Well, yeah, I expected something big. I put my intention for something big, but I had no idea what. And it was that little message that Gail said, because I had thought about it back and forth. Well, I've got room. I've got plenty of room. So then I just knew when she said that, it was just, how I knew I needed to go, but I really didn't know why.
Yeah.
Now I do know why. I can't wait to tell you.
Oh.
But I'm not going to tell you yet. But I do know why. And so it was actually for me, well,
you almost told us.
Yeah. But one of the bigger events of my life, honestly, one of the bigger moments, I would say. So, and also with Cryon being there, and I've already seen Cryon, 3 other times. So I didn't really see that whole conference, but I saw parts of it, and the ones most of the ones I saw of the parts of Cryon were also significant. So the combination. And okay, that's what I expected. I expected something big.
Yeah.
All right. So what actually happened? So Danny, you want to start on that one?
What actually happened? So I'm not quite sure really what happened. To be honest with you, there were so many synchronicities, so much confirmation that was going on, things that I already knew that maybe I wasn't really looking at fully. And it just became crystal clear, as much as my brain will allow it, to that there is something coming down the road for me, for us, I believe, that is going to be super powerful and very exciting as we transition from this 3D to 4D to 5D and moving on up. So there was a lot of unexplained things that I can't explain that happened. But
give us an example.
Okay, so, when I saw Dr. Gail, when I first drove into Dunsmuir and driving up the freeway, when I first saw Shasta, which I'd like you guys to share what your image was when you first saw Shasta, because that I've seen it before, but this trip, it was like, oh, it felt really powerful. But anyway, I see Dr. Gail, and we're hanging out, we're talking. Time for me to go to get my campsite. I get in the van, and the radio's on, and it's talking gibberish. And I go, what is this? And the radio was like, and I'm like, it's like the tape is, but there is no tape, it's radio. And I tried to record it, and as soon as I tried to record it, it stopped. And I went, I don't know what that was, but someone's trying to get my attention. Anyway, things like that happened. A lot of energy, a lot of violet colors, a lot of, I felt Saint Germain around us. I felt a lot of guides and angels around us. Really powerful beings, light beings, angels, and guides around us at that time, especially when we did our meditations.
I agree. Okay, Gail,
Yes.
what happened with you? Or what?
Well, there's a lot that happened. There's big things about talking about Danny talking, that person or whoever was gibberish talking. That same being had come to me and another person, 3 people that seemed to in a short time period. And then he came and joined us during our first meditation, and it turned out to be Saint Germain. So that's who he was connecting to, several of us at that time. And then he joined us with he called her his mate, Cleo. So that was pretty big to meet him and to know that he was bouncing between all of us. You know, usually when you have a guide, they're usually staying with you, but it's the first time I'd had one that had gone from 2 different people that I knew and to me. So that was different. But my biggest thing was the fact that my job's changing and that I was relieved of my duties on the spaceship, and that I don't know what I'm going to do, still don't know what I'm going to do yet. And that met and oriented the person who was relieving me, Abigail, who is a Lyran. And so that was happening on all the meditations we were doing day after day. I have no idea what was going to happen, but then we did have a lot of guides and a lot of ETs show up for us during those meditations. Those meditations were powerful.
Yeah.
So
I want to say how we meditated. I mean, I think it's important to bring this forward. What we did when we went to when we're saying the meditations, we went to Mount Shasta. We went to the base of Mount Shasta, which we got to see the beautiful view. It looks very much like what Danny has behind him. Yeah. And then we would find a powerful spot. Actually, I want to say when we would meet 8:30 every morning, every day, the same place, the same time, pretty much the same place. But when we would get together, it was instant power to me. When the 4 of us, there was not one more powerful than that. We all were equal in creating a powerful circle. So just that in itself, we got 4 powerful beings walking along, finding a powerful spot at Mount Shasta. And then oftentimes Danny would lead us into a guided journey, or maybe we did that a lot. Or sometimes we would just chit chat, and then we would just be in silence. And then we would have the intention of our meditation to either go down into Telos, the city in Mount Shasta where the Lemurians live, or we would go up, or we did a spaceship, or we just did different things, and we would do the north. Danny would make the directions, and on occasion I would do a little clearing on the circle. So anyway, this is what we're talking about when we say we did our meditation. This is the time at 8:30 in the mornings. All right, I just want to.
Yeah, and I like the way when you first brought it up, you said, let's make this every morning we come up to the base of the mountain so that they know that they're coming, and they know we are coming, and it's like, we're going to be here, so we expect you all to be here too, which I kind of laughed at. I go, well, they know we're here, but it was good that go, we're going to be here, so expect us. I really like that image.
Yes, the same thing when you meditate at home. You have your power spot at home too, same time, same place.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Bill, would you like to say what you experienced or what happened with you?
Yeah, but just to talk a little bit, the base of the mountain we were still like 6,500 feet up. And so with having the backdrop of, the other 5,000 feet of Mount Shasta behind us, or, we were on the mountain, which to me was really powerful. And, the meditations, its power also really touched with our intention, and even the preparation is, once we got up there, is we treated it as sacred space. And we started with a ground, some sort of grounding or clearing before we entered into that space. And it also benefited from the countless beings who had meditated in those places before, which helped make it a power spot. Going to the where somebody had created a heart was actually both our places. Somebody had created hearts that showed that a lot of people had come there and meditated. And Gail's bringing of flowers also was powerful. For me, going up there, I didn't have a whole lot of expectations other than, I did expect just a heart opening, and I have a lot of things going on just in life and career, and wanted to, there's a sense of like transition is my theme for this year. And I have no idea what that means, or I had no idea. I'm a little more clear now as to what that how that may unfold. But it was, for me, powerful, just accepting it's like, change always happens, and I can either roll with it or I can be resistant to it. And one of them will be more comfortable than the other, usually the non-resistant part. And that was, I think, one of the things that was just really reaffirming for me, is that it doesn't matter what unfolds, is just being open to the process. And yeah, I'll stop there.
Beautiful. Wow. Huh. That's
I-
And that's what Bill brings to this circle that we had.
I know.
For me, I thought that I would be the grounding one, but it turns out that he's the real ground here. I'm still floating around a little bit. Gail is way out there. Bill is way down in the root and tethering. It feels like a lot of us. I mean, he's like the base, and we're kites as he's kind of hanging on. Anyway, that was powerful, Bill.
Yeah. Bill has few words, but listen carefully.
Yeah, I think he was a real trooper. I mean, when Danny told me he was coming, I said, well, I don't have to tell him what I do. I can, just hang out. And Danny says, no, go ahead, just be you.
Yes.
And you were you, so.
And
I just thought, it was like, oh my gosh, it'd be too much for him to take on, but you did it gracefully.
yes, I think another thing about our circle that we created is that we brought gifts, and we brought centerpieces each time.
Mhm.
Whether, and one of my favorite things, of course, we had the candle, and then we made your stones, or one time it was a cookie, or an angel, or we had the sage, so there was a lot of different, we changed it up every day. But I think one of my fond memories is that Danny would bring a coffee bean and a small piece of chocolate, and that would be that was my breakfast. It was so that was wonderful. But during those meditations, now also for me, so that was a powerful time of the day. But then in the evenings, some of the evenings, I would do some of the crayon stuff, and for me, it integrated. It continued, the power from that continued, and then it just blended together, and I was getting the same consistent theme the whole time.
Right.
So that was really, really nice. But I know, Gail, you had an experience in one of the meditations, and that's when you found out about your relief of the duties.
Right.
You know, so that's one of the times for me in the meditation that Danny was leading us into Telos, we were going to just have a wonderful visit down to the city of Telos. You know, everybody was out moving around. I don't know, I forgot what you were doing, Bill. But when I got into Telos, I didn't get much of a tour. I just sat down at a table with these, I think there was 3 angels, and they were like, this is what we have a plan. This is your plan, or something like that. I don't remember exactly how I felt it or knew it, but they said, I'm not finished with hospice or with people helping people die. And I was hoping I thought I was going to get like a big other kind of a job. Like maybe I'm going to be on a spaceship doing something special like Dr. Gail, you know. No, it's not like that.
But you are doing something special.
Now I've come to accept it as being special, but at the time I was disappointed. And at the time I said, well, I want to speak to the manager. And they said, well, you are the manager. So this is a thing. We are all managers of our own life. And what they said to me was that you've been preparing for this job for lifetimes. And then when it turned out, what I learned also with the cryon stuff is that I've been preparing since my first incarnation ever as a dragonfly. My first incarnation on earth, I was a dragonfly. And so that dragonfly, you know, is about transition. You know, dragonflies go from 3D to I don't know what D, you know, so they're back and forth into different dimensions. And so that's what I guess that's what part of my job. So now I've come to accept it, but it's bigger than bedside. It's not just on earth. It's not just sitting next to somebody and helping them die. And I don't even know how much longer that will be, but it is more on a galactic level or more on a spiritual level.
So it would be galactic too.
Pardon?
I would say it's galactic too, because you're going to different planets.
Yeah.
Doing your
Right. So
job.
it's bigger than I thought. And that's what they told me. They kept saying over and over, it's bigger than you can imagine. You can't figure it out. But we need a person in the 3D, like all of us humans. And I kept getting this message over and over and over. We all are much bigger than we think we are. And in the spirit world is helping us do our jobs. But they can't do it without us, and we can't do it without them.
Right.
So, and I'll just say, so then talking about going into your power, and I think this is all about power, right? So we filling up more power that we have from our higher self, or whatever you want to call it. And okay, I'm just going to show this because this is a birthday gift. So thank you all so much. But this feels more like home to me when I like, you know, do this with it. But then when I was at the conference, I got this sword, and I'm going to show you this beautiful sword. And when I got it, I thought, well, you know, this is powerful. You can't tell, there is some sacred water in here and symbols, and it's a copper tubing in here, selenite, light of sword. And when I first got, I thought, oh no, I can't take this power. I mean, I don't deserve this. It's too powerful. And I had to really get used to thinking, okay, I have more power than I think. And now I think, oh, I could have a bigger, more powerful sword. And I've used this actually with readings in the last couple of days, and it's been amazing. So I'll be quiet, but I just want to share that it was amazing for me, that those meditations that we did and what we learned, and it's been life transforming. So I know that there's more to us in the 3D. We go way beyond what we think we do. Bill, what would you like to add?
Well, one of the things that resonated with me is so your language is very different from my language as far as traditions and stuff. And there was a part that it was hard for me to sort of resonate and connect. But one of the unifying factors for that I felt, and I believe all of us felt, was we were powerful as a group.
Yep.
So we came in as individuals, yet as a group, we're also an individual, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And so there was a safety in exploring. And once I, as you shared, all of you, some of your stories, it's like part of me, some of it I was not able to translate, but some of it it's like I could translate into something that just made sense for me. And just having that open heart and honoring our tribe
Nice.
was really powerful. And that in itself just sort of opened up a completely different vista for me, is going, and this is something I actually reflected on yesterday, is that going into unfamiliar situations those are growth areas. And I think, I can't remember who was talking about that when we were up there, but the difficult spots are where we grow. And even though this wasn't a difficult spot, is I was much more aware of language up there and how I use it and how it's used. And that just opened up another vista. And then with the meditations, it just really sparked aspects of my mind that hadn't been used as much as before. And so again, being back in San Francisco, it's like those are the keys. It's like if I'm settled into my little routine, there's a part of me that slowly goes to sleep. And when I step out of my comfort zone, I awaken more.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. So Danny, what do you think?
I feel like I'm back. I feel like I'm back there again in a way.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just reliving this, just talking about it again, it puts me in that space. And I feel exactly what Bill was talking about with coming back to civilization or to home. There's a requirement that pulls me away from there's requirements that pull me away from kind of where I want to be. I mean, I would love to live in that Shasta space all the time, but we do have our lives that we have to live. So there was a lot of growth in that. There's power in setting the time to meditate every day, and to connect every day at a certain time. And we tend to forget certain things as our life goes on. And this just reminded me of what is important right now for me, which is staying in that space and not letting it go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Bringing our hearts back there. It's a heart connection, isn't it? Definitely the heart.
Right. And it doesn't need to be as intensive as as it was for me anyway, but it can be, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, just a reflection back there kind of recharges me a little bit. Although I do like the longer meditations that I set up during my time in the morning. But yeah, it doesn't need to be a big thing. we can slip into it real quick and reconnect with that space.
So how do you think you're going to be using this? So that's part of how you're going to use it now. And then I know you're teaching coming up. You have a class coming up. So is this going to be affecting how you teach now, do you think?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm not sure. And one of the things that I heard a lot, personally for me, was don't let the ego get in the way of exploring the unknown. So when we go into invisible realms and we start making things up in our mind's eye, it's like, oh, I'm just making it up, I'm doing this. It's the ego trying to make sense of it. And that it's okay to have that ego, but sometimes you need to quiet it down. It's like, okay, thank you for saying that I'm just making this up. Now I'd like you to go, I heard you, I want you to go in the corner and take a nap while I explore this area a little bit more. So let that negativity, that ego, whatever, let that go so that you can continue on a path.
Beautiful. Yeah. Awesome. One of the things I noticed too, we were always looking for the ETs when we were there. And every morning, like, are they going to be here now? Where are they going to, and when the last day I met Dr. Gail at the coffee shop, and this is the coffee shop that all the ETs go to. Yet I didn't see any, although maybe we did and we didn't know it. But I know, Dr. Gail, so what do you think about that, or your journey forward?
Well, we did meet an ET at the coffee shop.
Okay.
I knew it as soon as I saw him.
Okay.
But I couldn't sit in there and go, look, there he is. There's one, because I could feel him.
Okay.
So there was one there, and we went to a local coffee shop, which I was told the day before that it's where all the Lemurians go. And so Kim and I went there. It's called the Seven Suns. Was it Seven Suns? It was a great coffee shop, and we sat outside, and I met the person in line while we were there, and he was very comfortable and very familiar with the area. It was a local place for people to go. So, but yeah, I was told that that's where all the Lemurians go. And of course, I didn't recognize it until we were sitting down and went, oh, I felt the energy of that guy. I knew that's who he was. So, but we didn't see the really tall ones that I've been told that go in there that, will come up to their waist. But we didn't see those obvious ones there.
Okay. So Dr. Gail, what do you think is in the future for you around, I mean, did this do anything for are you how is this going to integrate?
Well, I recognize the power of the four of us.
Yeah.
And I'll always keep that close to me. And I think, if we all need a little help or something, I think the power of the four of us need to get together. If somebody's having some issues or going through something, I think the four of us could get back together. For me, my future is unclear. I have no idea. Right now, I feel like I'm going through all these hurdles, and I'm wondering if it's something to do with my root chakra. Let's destroy the root chakra of her and let's build her back up. So I'm not sure about my future, but I'm looking forward to it. I have met the greatest people. Even my last moving out of one Airbnb into another Airbnb, I had 6 hours layover that I didn't know what I was going to do with my pets during that time because it was warm.
Oh, wow.
Well, here comes the guy that I have met, and I went to the crystal store, and he drove by and saw my car there, and he called me and he said, I have a music studio that you can stay in that 6 hours while you're waiting. So it was perfect. I went in that music studio and stayed there and just locked up and called him and said, I'm on my way. I'm leaving now. It was amazing. It's just been the most amazing people have been put in front of me on this journey. I'm the one that's always helping people. And it's just amazing how many people have been helping me. It's a big change for me.
Beautiful. Oh, that's so nice. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does it feel? How does it feel? Since you're the one that is always helping people, was it a hard transition for you to be accepting all this help?
Yes, and it started, when I had hit the deer on the way, when I met those people in that town that were so nice and helped me through all that. And, but they kept telling me that with all that I was going through, my attitude about it also helped them, that I was just kind of going with the flow. I had a good attitude about it. And so it's a big, at that time, I was just felt kind of helpless, and I've never been that helpless before, that I had to have people help me. So I think that stripping me of that, and to know people out there that can help you, I think I'm being a lot more accepting to that now. And that it's almost like, to me, when I'm helping somebody, it's a gift to me to help somebody, but I have to realize it's also a gift for that person who's helping me, and that you have to look at both ways. And that's hard for me. But I've just realized that it is just as much of a gift to receive as it is to give.
That's right.
And I heard that a lot. I heard that a lot in this trip too, that it's just as much as a gift to receive as it is to give.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and you said that beautifully, Gail, and I think it's important for all of us to be able to acknowledge that when we receive help, we are helping others, but also when we're giving help, looking at our intentions behind that, because sometimes being a helper is actually a way of avoiding connection with people and getting people to be maybe more dependent or protecting our hearts. And when we receive help, we're opening up that vulnerability, that heart vulnerability that creates better, deeper connections.
Right.
Wow. That's such a good point, Bill.
Again, the power of the four of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. And I feel like all of us and everybody now that I've come across, like that week, and then now even since then, when the last couple of days that I've been home and I've been doing readings, I'm seeing much more universal strength with people, and that there's a way bigger reason why we're here and what we're doing than we can imagine. We may think we're just doing a kind act, or we may just think we're sitting at the bedside or whatever, but there's a lot bigger reason. It's beyond our knowledge, really. And I think the universe knows everything that we're doing, and it's like it's reflected back, But whatever we do good here goes out to the universe. I mean, that's come to me, that's the message I got, bigger than anything.
Wow. It's powerful.
Yes, it is. It's powerful. So I don't feel insignificant, and I know I can take the power, and we all of us, that's the thing, all of us. And I want to encourage everybody to realize that they know that they have a lot of power.
So are you buying us all one of those selenite swords?
No, but you can inherit it when I'm transitioned.
No.
Or when you get a bigger one.
No, I have a collection, So. Actually, I want to get a smaller one because this is heavy when I'm working with people.
That's what I was seeing. I was seeing a small one for pediatric.
Oh yeah, because this is a little heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've seen you use that sword to cut for the little people.
The little people. Yeah.
Kim, it's not heavy. It's
probably pets too. Animals.
Yes. Animals, plants. Yes. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add about our adventure?
I just want to add that last thing that you said, animals and plants.
Yeah.
It's, when you mentioned that the first time that you're going to help plants transition, I went, oh my gosh, who helps plants transition? Well, now I know somebody who does. It's Kim. And, you know, and what about, you know, the rocks? And because I don't know, it's, we forget that the earth is a living sphere, is a living being. And, you know, we got to give it a little bit of love too. So I think that's awesome that you're going to be helping plants transition.
Yeah, thank you. I saw the other day, yesterday, a lady, she has a tree that's dying in her yard. I could see the tree crying, not wanting to leave.
Yeah.
Felt, I mean, I didn't see tears, but you know what I mean? I
No,
felt,
no, yeah.
right. Bill, what would you like to say, dear?
I am grateful for the experience. And when I go on retreats, you know, one of the things that many people say is like a retreat starts or ends. If you do a 10-day retreat, the retreat doesn't end at the end of that retreat. It actually ends about 10 days later, because it's the integration that happens over a period of time. So I'm still very much in the early integration of my Shasta retreat. But I do notice things that I picked up there that have been put on the back burner of my life suddenly popped up, and it's like, this needs to be resolved soon. And, you know, so this is sort of like an exciting period for me, because there's some resolution and some starting to open up other doorways just to see what's in there, you know, open up the closets and suddenly find that it's a hallway. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm getting the chills on that.
I like that image, opening up a closet to see a hallway.
Yeah. That's a good image.
That is nice. Anything else, you guys? Gail or Danny?
Well, I want to ask Bill about his cryon experience. How was that?
It was okay. You know, again, that was very much where the language used was different from my traditions, and some of the stuff was interesting. There was a lot of blending of traditions in that, and something that comes up to me, and I learned this actually during a meditation retreat also, where this one teacher said, we were learning this spiritual practice, and he said, this is the most important spiritual practice you will ever do in your entire life. The most important, nothing else matters. And then I went and did another spiritual practice with him a month later, and he goes, this is the most important spiritual practice that you will ever do in your whole life. And I was really torn with that until it hit me that what the practice that I am doing right now, that is the most important practice. And there's a great deal of wisdom in sticking with a practice, because if you're familiar with it, you can go deeper into it and explore more, but also opening to just other different practices and trying to step into that world to see if it fits or not. So that's what I went in with, that, you know, that open-mindedness. It's like, let's just be curious. And some stuff I resonated with, and some stuff I didn't.
Right.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, and that was Marilyn Harper, by the way. That was not the, yeah. Okay.
Well, you know, and I think all of this, just to summarize it a little bit, in dovetail off of what Billy just said, is that it feels like all of us are opening a closet door and finding that hallway. As we went through all these experiences with our group meditations, with the bigger event that was going on there in Shasta with the cryon thing, it all dovetailed together, and it was all just opening that closet door. And now we're walking down the hallway, and there's other doors in the hallway, and we get to choose whether we open them or not. I think that summarizes it really well. So I love what Billy said there.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, again, I just want to remind everyone here that watches this and all of us about our power and to embrace it. Embrace your own power, and don't limit your power. Don't limit the unlimited, as one of my teachers says. Don't limit it.
Yep.
It's beyond what we can even imagine. So that's what and thank you all so much. I just want to everybody.
Thank you for doing this.
Hugs.
Yeah, thank you for doing this, Kim. I know
Yeah.
you got to put together the questions and get us all together. You spent all day texting about everything. I appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome, of course. And then we'll have an editor working on it. So
I don't know. I don't know if we need to edit anything.
well, just to add in a few pictures, I think.
We could add in a few pictures.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Blessings, you guys. And I'm just going to stop the recording.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Blessing.